Sunday evening session of Trader Talk Radio, the market preview show. We at the moment have got, we are live now. Thank you, Mai. Welcome along, everybody, to the market preview show for Sunday night, the 28th of February, last one for February, 20th of February 2021. Great to have your company. My name is Paul Botchell. I'm the head trader for Actions to Wealth, and I am joined in the room at this stage only by Julian. I imagine there's a few more of the team on their way in pretty soon. Look, normally we would go and do fundamentals pretty early. I'm going to, hey, Soon, how you going, mate? Nice to see you in the room. I'm going to grab the screen and talk a little bit about some market stuff for just a few seconds before we get into the rest of this. We'll come to Julian in a few minutes to get his look at the market, and I'm hoping that we'll be seeing a couple of other traders in reasonably soon. Ainslie's in now, that does help. The more the merrier, they say. Look, I'll talk about a couple of things, just, topical things from the market. Last week, I said that I was going to look at two markets. There were three markets this week. I want to talk about those three markets. We'll have a quick look before we go anywhere else at, so it's a pullback week, and I think there's some good indications for us of this stuff. I do hope some of our guys got this stuff. Look, gold breaks this level. That's a bad sign for mine. I'll be looking for a retest, and I think at this stage, I've got to get a close above 1764 before I can really be convinced that I need to go long here at all. Bitcoin, I'm not as savage on. We've got a consolidation happening here after the pullback. I think the pullback over 50 grand was always likely to come. And we'll have a bit of a look and see how it goes on the bounce off the EMA. I don't think it's quite by the dip material on it yet, but I think it's worth keeping an eye on. We talked about Bitcoin as a long last week, and it didn't happen. We talked about oil. Oil gave us a couple of really good days before pulling back on Friday, and I continue to be a bull on oil. But the one I really enjoyed last week was pound. We called pound short at the start of the show last week. I said that I was long Bitcoin, long oil, and short pound. And if you're in our strategy bias group, you should have got this one. Pound is short on COT, short on seasonal, and basically neutral on fundamentals. And so is the euro, and so is the Kiwi. And look, I think this is one of the things that's really interesting about COT for mine. I heard Julian and Ash talking about what happened on Friday. And look, the truth is that it could well be those 10-year bonds. I don't think it's easy to nail it down to anything else in particular. I think the Fed freaked a few people out, actually, with some of its longer range comments. But just ignoring all that, this is the thing for mine about COT. I'll just take all this stuff off. That, COT's not fast moving. COT could have been short for ages. But what it does tell you is when it does move, you do tend to get some people piling behind the move. And this pullback in pound, maybe this is a reversal and it's going to take off again. Maybe this is heading to a lower high. It's going to start heading down. I can't tell you the answer to that, but I can tell you that, when this started to shorten up, we should have been looking for opportunities to get short on cable for mine. We didn't tip Euro out, but if you're in the broadcast group, you should have that's the strategy board, that's the relative bias group. You should have got this, and potentially got this. I think we got a nice signal here. This bar I talk about a lot. This inside type bar sitting at the top of a move as a common reversal sign. That one we got there. That one that we got there. That one that we got there. That one that we got there. These things are all over charts these days, and I think you need to be looking for those. I think there was some opportunity for guys who listened last week, and particularly those who are in that group. Look, guys, if you're not in that group, we have given everybody in the company a chance to have a free trial of that for a month as part of the Chinese New Year celebrations. We did the same thing around Christmas. We did the same thing earlier in the year. If you're not taking advantage of the strategy of the bias group, I think you're missing some great opportunities. Excuse me, guys. I'm now going to see who has joined me in the room and see, look at that. All of a sudden, I've got panelists everywhere. That is really cool. Alexis is in. Look, we're going to go fundamentals with Alexis. Then we're going to talk to Julian. We will soon after have Ainslie in as well. Sure, he'll be in for sure today. I'm sure he had a big day yesterday with that program. Hope you guys did enjoy that. Look, the crypto space Julian was talking about in his session a few minutes ago. Julian, I do like following your show. There's plenty to talk about after your show. So, Julian was talking about that a little bit as well. So we should hear from Shukri too, not too far away. I will, first of all, let's hand over to Alexis and talk fundamentals. What do you got for us, Lexi?
Hi, Paul. Hi, everybody. Yes, hi. Okay, so this week, I think we're still on track. Fundamentals, as you guys know, it's a medium to long-term-ish. And we did actually, it is really great that the pound long short
Literally, I've
to
got a little
medium
bit of
term on the
breaking up
pound.
from you. I can't
We
get
are
you.
just
I
waiting for
can't
that
get
pullback
anyone
because
on the
overextensions
screen.
are really everywhere.
Are you share screening, Alexi? I can't get anything on it. There we go. There's something. There's you. That looks far better.
Yeah.
I think that's like, hey Lewis, how you going? Hi everybody.
Right.
There you go, Alexi. Over to you. Look, I don't think we're under any time pressure today, Alexi. Take your time, do what you need to do. Julian's in the room. He'll be next. I know that we've got Shukri in now as well as Ainslie, so we've got plenty to do, but I don't think we're in any rush today. Geoff's joining us a little bit later. What do you got for us, Alexi?
Yeah, all right. So I was talking about the pound last week and the week before, and I'm still looking at I think it's really great that the pound had a nice pullback last week. Whether or not the pullback will continue, I'm not sure, but I am waiting for opportunities to go long the pound on the medium term. So still, I mean, there's this article that came out that talks about the pound being on track for its month since last July, and it is buoyed by the sharp rise in government bond yields. So this is, I guess, we're still playing on the sentiment of everybody's pretty optimistic about the vaccine rollout. See how this plays out. Looking at charts, fantastic pullbacks on the pound. What I do hope to see more of, let me just go here. All right, so just quickly going through the pound pairs to see whether opportunities are there. So we had that big pullback on pairs like pound cat, and then it is Friday, the last day, ended up as a nice long green candle again. Whether or not this will continue, we'll see how it opens up on Monday. Pound dollar as well, nice big pullback. So overall, bigger picture, we still have a little bit of an upward trend that's happening, and all these pullbacks are really fantastic for shopping entries. So looking for entries in all these pound pairs. Pound Aussie was the one that we were not quite looking at it because pound is strong-ish. Aussie has been doing pretty well as well, and also because China's been improving in terms of its economic statistics. So pound Aussie is the anomaly that I won't really look at. But pound yen, you can see that big pullback there. And last Friday as well, sort of looking like a low test bar. Whether or not this will continue breaking down, we'll have to see how Monday opens up and whether there's more news on this pound side. Pound Kiwi, we had that pullback for 5 days of deep retracement. And the pair looks to be bouncing off this level over here, and Friday ended up as a big long day. So again, I'm looking for longs in pound. We'll see whether this continues or whether the pound breaks down, depending on the news again. But overall, medium term, pound statistics still look pretty decent, so I'm looking at that. I think the last thing I'll be looking at today would be oil. And I think oil is interesting because let me just pull up this chart over here. So looking at two things, one is oil and one is the dollar CAD, right? So there is a little bit of correlation. I'm sure most of you guys would have heard already the correlation between oil and the CAD pair. So I'm just going to pull out to a month. This is a monthly time frame chart of both. The top one is WTI crude oil, and the bottom yellow one is the dollar CAD. Right, so it is interesting to see how the CAD and the oil pairs, or the CAD and oil, kind of correlates in terms of where it starts its turn. So I think as long as oil is deemed cheap, we should start seeing a strengthening in the CAD as people as a way. And if oil is expensive, then we should see people holding on to less Canadian dollars. So this is a dollar CAD. So the moves are inversely related. So you see these white gaps. So I think it's interesting because we are at a consolidate. We just passed a cheap oil level over here. Last month or the last couple of months, we are bouncing off this so-called cheap oil level. And oil is coming up to, again, a key price level, I would say, where I think it's somewhere in the midline, where I think it's time to decide. Well, if economic situations improve globally, we're talking, of course, about further ups in oil, whether air travel is coming back, etc., etc. So this should be interesting to see if oil can break through this level over here, this $61 level. Then the question would be, will the dollar CAD the dollar CAD break below this $80, $89, $90 level over here? Oh, no, it's over here, 120. This is 126. So let's say I'm looking at a 125. So dollar CAD 125. Whether or not you'll break below this 125 will be pretty much dependent on whether or not oil can burst through its $60-ish price line. Yep, that's all for me. So looking at dollar CAD, oil, and also the pound pairs next week. And I think this over to you, Julian.
Cheers,
Thanks,
Lexi.
Thanks, Lexi. As always, I'm sitting there. All I do whenever I hear you talk about the analysis that you do, I sit there and just nod. You can't see me nodding away, but otherwise I look a bit weird if I just sit there the whole time during your conversation nodding away. I'm just going to ditto on a lot of what you said. I want to add a couple of things of my thoughts about last week. So I'm going to do a quick, run through what I saw last week and really for me, what that means for this week, because as always, we're traders, we're trying to move ahead, and it's great to look at what happened last week, but we've also got to think about how the hell we're going to deal with it next week. So for me, when I was scooting around the markets on Wednesday, it occurred to me in a sort of a bang moment that the dollar CAD had got to 125, the Kiwi had got to 75, the Aussie had got to 80. These are all key, big, round numbers. And so to say it wasn't a surprise at all that we saw what happened on Friday happen, it was a surprise to see the extent of it, but I already had a suspicion that something was coming because those key round numbers, clearly the market has backed away from those pretty fast right now. That's a technical trading view. But then, for those of you that were in the Trader Cafe, you heard Ash talking, and the interest rate market had a bit of a moment on Wednesday and Thursday, and long-term interest rates spiked up. They did manage to come back a little bit and improved a little bit on Friday, I think, but that spike up had a bit of a feed-through impact on all the other asset markets. And, it really Friday was a liquidation day. Okay, so there was a lot of markets that saw a lot of trend reversals taking place. So, okay, that's where we're at, right? And the question that we now have is, what do we do next? So, if somebody wouldn't mind just putting up let's put up a chart of the Kiwi. That'll be great. Kiwi dollar, US dollar, just fantastic. Any one of these charts will do. For those of you that have an academic interest, because I don't think they cover it on the MT4 platform, please go and have a look at the Indian rupee against the US dollar and see what happened to that on Friday. Folks, if you want to see a reversal in action, that's a classic. Very clearly what's happened is the Kiwi we've seen trade off a little bit over the course of the last 2 days. For me, the decision on Monday is really clear cut. It depends on where the market opens, whether we have a bit of a sentiment settle down. So if you like, the Kiwi bounces, the Aussie bounces, and we see dollar CAD come down a little bit, dollar yen come down a little bit, or whether we open unchanged, in which case that'll be a little boring. And I don't think we're going to do boring over the last couple of days. We've seen I think I'm right in looking at that Bitcoin chart. It's suffered a bit over the weekend, or whether it's going to open higher and just continue that upward trend corrective movement, or lower in the Aussie and the Kiwi corrective movement against the US dollar. So my thoughts are, I think that if it's a reversal, there's an opportunity for entry for people. If it is if you like, a go with momentum play, I think it's much harder to trade that, and maybe we need to wait a little bit of time to see if they can close the gap. So the difficulty we have from here is to try and figure out how long that's going to go on for. So if the market deteriorates on Monday, there have been situations, and guys, go back and look at the analog markets. There have been situations whereby when you look at some of these foreign exchange markets, the market has traveled 5, 6, 7, 8 days in the same direction, especially during a corrective moment, if you like. You call those V-shaped markets. So what's interesting about those is And this is the real key question for us: is this a trend reversal, or is this a new trend? Right, and I think that's the key thing, right? And if it's a trend reversal, if it's a retracement, if it's something that's going to go down and try and print a higher low at some point in time over the next 3 to 4 weeks, then in that case, you should be looking to get back on board with those underlying bullish trends in the currencies and bearish US dollar trends when this short-term correction runs its course. If it is something different, how are you going to know? Well, you're going to know either in terms of time or price. So if we keep going in the direction of the correction for any length of time, 4, 5, 6 days, I think something different may be taking place. If we also have significant large range bars or large range candles downwards in the Aussie and the Kiwi and upwards in the dollar CAD on Monday, then there may be a case for saying that something different has happened, or if there is a short-term retracement, it could be coming to an end. That gives us an opportunity to trade on Tuesday. So got to be alive. I think the first 2 or 3 days this week, there's going to be 2 or 3 different opportunities to establish positions, short-term ones, just to see how things are going. And then we'll try and decide what actually is the trend in place. Is it corrective, or is it a short-term corrective, or is it actually a complete trend reversal, which means something different altogether, I think, in terms of asset markets. And don't forget, so Friday was a correlation of one day. What I mean by that is every single asset market in the world got hit on Friday. You only have to scoot round, why lithium and copper and platinum should all move when dollar CAD moves, I don't quite understand. Or when the NASDAQ moves, or when the bond market moves, why are they all moving exactly in line together? So lots of questions, very few answers. What we've really got to decide is what we're going to do next. And that really, I think, is determined by the open on Monday and possibly Tuesday. And we'll see how the beginning of the week shapes up. Don't forget, to Lex's point, oil is in a bull seasonal pattern that lasts between now and April. Before that's the strongest seasonal point for the next, I guess, 3 or 4 weeks. So any retracement we see downwards in oil is still an opportunity to get back involved again, because the seasonal pattern is still pretty aggressively bullish. And if you look at that breakout we had from oil about 10, 15 bucks ago, we're going to, even if we got anywhere near there, that would be interesting, I think, as a retracement point. So this is a time to get out all your Fibonacci's and have a quick look at them and try and figure out if there's a place where it makes sense to get involved. I still think oil is a bull market medium term, and we're still in the seasonal pattern. So short term, it is as well too. And I'm sure Ainslie can add some more fundamentals to that as well too when she comes on later on. Exactly. So look, there may be a correction for the time being. Thank you for that, Lexi. There may be a correction for the time being, but I would use it as an opportunity to get back on board again. The question is how many days it lasts for. And that's really what we're interested in, right? Because from a risk management point of view, the amount of days that we have that corrective pattern for is what's important to us. So go and look at the analog, guys. Go and look at the last 6 months, see how many red bars we have in a row. And try and average them out. Was it 2 in a row, 3 in a row, 4 in a row, 5 in a row? What's the general pattern? See what that looks like, and then try and make a guesstimate about when we might see a dip on that corrective pattern, enabling us to get involved. So that's it from me, Paul. Good luck, everybody, next week. These are crazy markets and crazy times, but the volatility is there. We've been saying this is coming now for a while. This is just the start of it. Get used to it. There's going to be more.
Cheers, Julian. Thank you very much for that, mate. Always interesting to have you follow up your show with us. We'll be back with your show 8:45, so 3:45 Sing, isn't it, for Trader Cafe next week? Week after, right? You got a week off next week. You're back 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, so we're running that series fortnightly at the moment, Paul, and if there's more demand, we might look at doing it weekly, but initially it's going to be a fortnightly show. I don't want to bombard people, and it gives us a chance to get some great guests on with some great views about the way that they're motivated to trade or to look at financial markets.
And you gave away a couple of weeks to your broadcast group. Had a few people talking about saying if they could get a couple of weeks, they could win a couple of weeks to your professional traders program. I guess you'll give a bit of that away at some stage as well for those that attend, right?
Yep. So that's going to be the prize the next time around. So folks, listen in, enjoy the show, and then there'll be the great chance to win with a Wheel of Fortune. Fabulous Wheel of Fortune at the end of the show.
Yeah, mate. It still remains probably our most sought after our most sought after product, your professional traders thing. So really nice to give that a little bit away. Limited to 5 people at a time. So we do keep pretty tight numbers on that. Most people stay for 3 or 4 months. We get around 20 people a year through that. So a little free trial, that'll be a bit of a bonus for somebody going in there. Mate, you're back in Auckland, back home.
Yes, I am. Thank you. My travelling days are over for the time being. 2 months away from home has been marvellous. It's nice to actually get back home. Not so nice to see the boys didn't quite manage to do all the washing up over the last 2 months, but I have to get that is young men for you. So hopefully we've got them corralled now to try and do it. So the house is looking pristine. So they did an amazing job.
You're home and the wife's been on the walk path with the boys, eh? Brilliant. And what's more, they can't even run away, right? You're all locked in now under lockdown for a week or so.
Oh, look, this is a very sad state of affairs for those of you that follow the Auckland situation. We're back in lockdown yet again. I don't know how many we've had now. This is lockdown 4 or 5, version 4 or 5 or whatever it is. This is really sad, and I feel sorry for people around the world who have been suffering for a lot longer than we have. We feel very lucky, and the fact that we've got to do it even for another week is painful. Well, you guys out there who've been doing it for months, you're amazing, and your mental ability and your mental strength has been tremendous. I can only say that the reaction to have to go to lockdown this time around was on social media somewhat more frustrated than usual.
Yeah, New Zealand's a bit frustrated, aren't they, Julian? Because we're going back to lockdown for the first time because a couple of people just haven't followed the rules, and that's New Zealanders for you. We're not great at this stuff, and we've been really good with COVID, but this whole thing where you're supposed to isolate and said you go to work at KFC, that is not a good thing.
No, there's nothing more I can add to that, Paul. You're right.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much for your time. We will see you in a fortnight. We'll see you back on this show next week. Some changes coming to the show, which we'll publish next week. We'll see you back in 2 weeks for Trader Cafe. We'll see you back here next week. In the meantime, we're going to go and have a quick chat with Shukri Hamid, the millionaire maker. Shukri, how you doing?
I'm doing great. And I have some good news.
What's the good news, mate?
The fact that Ethereum is getting clobbered like mad means the gas prices has gone down. I was shocked last night. Let's see this thing. You know, I was always saying...
Hold on. What are gas prices? Because
the
prices in New Zealand haven't gone down, let me tell you.
Transaction fees. You know, last night, usually if I send something for an IDO, it's going to cost me like $40. Last night, it was just 11. And it went down yesterday evening. Yeah. So, you know, the cost of you guys learning that, because you have to engage with the wallet, it has gone down a lot since last night. It's really gone down a lot. Amazing. So,
mate, do you think that was the impact of your show yesterday? Mate, boy, that was a full day, wasn't it? The first show of how to set up a wallet and have it funded by somebody else.
But many people are still DMing me, say they couldn't get in. Oh, okay, you guys are waiting.
Actually, to tell you what, mate, I'll have my post the link for. We're doing it again on Saturday, 6th of March. Yeah. We've already got 115 registered. Oh,
my God.
Yeah, mate, I know. We'll only have 100 turn up. We promise you that. Mike, could you share the link? I think we've got starts up again. You able to share screen, Shukri?
Yeah, I'm sharing the screen now. So
this is you. Sorry, it is Bitcoin Ethereum.
Yeah,
this is good. I'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, this is good, guys. This is awesome. We want it to go down. Okay, so this has put down the transactions fees by a lot. Okay, and those of the students that I told you guys yesterday, like for me to get unstaking, it's called unstaking out of Mantra DAO, used to cost me $2,500. Then it was like 200. Then it was like 55. Yesterday is like 39, or this morning is like 39. So again, this is good. But let's see Bitcoin. I'm just going to show you what I like, I don't like. So what Julian said was true. Everything has gone down, which is good, right? So when you see this, people are waiting for this next level here, the support here, which is 42.5, which kind of makes sense, which is just below there. Okay, 42.5K is the support. Now, let me tell you where I am waiting at. See, the thing of Bitcoin, it likes to trick you. So let's see where I'm waiting at. Now, for Bitcoin, when it goes down, I always say a dump can go down to 40%. So wait one moment. I'm just putting it down here. Okay, I'm just putting it down. Where's 40 now? I don't think it reaches here. Yeah, see, at this level here, 34. So down 34. But if you see on 2018, it went down 37.5. So where's 37.5%? See that? Okay, that's 33. Where is 37.5? If you guys want to know where I'm going to put in an order, yeah, I could put in an order around 36.5, 37. That's what I'm waiting it to go down to, okay? It doesn't matter if it goes down 40%, I don't care, but I'm waiting it to go down here. So I think it will go here, 42.5, try to make an upturn and then get whacked down. Maybe it goes down for just a while, but yeah, I'd be willing to put an order around there, 37.5K. Now, we had a good day yesterday. Our wallets, man, you guys are FOMOing in, man. You guys are seriously FOMOing in. So, okay, you guys know, all right, that Zem, I don't know what it is, but I used to have an office down my office. It's gone up, man. So when we started the show yesterday, what time was it, right? It was in the morning, right? 8. We started the show at 8. This was 50. And by night, you guys went to 60. Did you guys buy this? Did you guys buy this? Man, you guys are FOMOing in. Okay, so I hope that that was not on YouTube. Okay, so I'd like Mai to remind me before Monday's show, right, that I'm on YouTube, because guys, if people see this, I'm talking about them and I don't declare my position, I could be in big trouble. Okay, so on Monday on YouTube show, I'll have to declare to you guys whether I have the position on them or not, because it's not cool if I talk about it and it goes up. Crypto markets are very thin. I could get into trouble, but that's it for now. Yeah. So nice, man. You guys are FOMOing in. Don't FOMO, okay?
So that's the fear of missing out. Shukri, I'm going to ask, mate. So you said that Ethereum price is dropping, so the price of transacting is dropping.
Yeah.
Why are they linked?
Because you need Ethereum gas. You know, to send you're using it in Ethereum. Now, Ethereum is supposed to have a standard that gets rid of that. That is supposed to fix it. But I think a lot of people are so frustrated with Ethereum, which is why you have Ash's. Oh, let's look at Ash's favorite coin, ADA. ADA is going up, man. ADA is like, you know, and Fed was buying this at what? ADA is Cardano.
Cardano, right?
Fed and Winnie was buying this at 18 cents, man. They were buying tons of this at 18 cents. It went to like 150. That's like a 9 times.
That's not bad, right?
That's a normal day. That's just another day.
I thought Ash was looking a bit hungover this morning in Julian, so that'll be why. Eh? If it's gone 9 times, you'll be pretty happy. You know, it's not the worst thing. I imagine that wasn't a $50 position either. It would have gone okay.
Yeah.
Cool, mate. So, okay, so gas is cost of transactions coming down because the price of Ethereum is falling. Cardano, which Ash has been tipping up for a while, is heading. That's been the one that he's been talking about. Same thing, right? Everyone does this stuff, right? Where he tips this thing out and it goes absolutely nowhere, and he just waits and waits and waits and waits, and all of a sudden it's gone 9 times, and that is crypto, right?
Yeah. And the good thing about Cardano has no gas. You know, it's built in. You don't get charged gas for it. And get this, guys, Cardano, the founder is from Ethereum, and so is this guy, right? And so is this guy, the founder of Polkadot. So that almost 10 times. And another founder of Ethereum, I'm going to show you this. This is an NFT, which is like the hottest things in hot. See, there's always something hot in crypto every week. So every week, like something gets hot. But let me find it. Luxo.
Mate, is there a rule in crypto where you can't use the full name for anything?
No, we can't. So this one, guys, I bought it around 80. Yeah, it's only like how many times? 11, 12 times. You know, they're just the usual 10x thing.
So 10's the goal these days, right? 10 what we're looking for. It's got to go 10 times, right?
Yeah.
And mate, we're going to spend another day on next Saturday, 6th of March. You're going to take us through the same program.
Yeah. No, YouTube, right?
We don't get more than 100 into these shows, so we had 100 last time.
Yeah, correct.
Got 114 registered at the moment for this Saturday, so that'll pretty soon get closed off as well. Follow-up event 20th and 21st of March.
So you guys are lucky because on Monday, if I appear on YouTube, I have to declare my positions if I'm talking about something, or I can be in big trouble.
Shukri, that's a really cool thing. I think we should be, you know, with crypto on small cryptos, something we should be encouraging people to do, right?
Yes.
You know, you're not going to move the Bitcoin market around. That's just not realistic. But on the small stuff, you could be moving it around, and pumping and dumping coins is not okay. As you know, I've had an experience of that.
No, guys.
I think it's a really cool thing on the small coins if you can do that.
Yeah, because guys, there have been a lot of apologies. If you look at a lot of YouTubers, there's been a lot of apologies that had to be issued. And they had to say, I didn't mean it. I didn't call for you guys to buy it. Okay. So we don't want to get into that position. It's very awkward.
Yeah, look, it's more than awkward because you know what these guys, the pump and dump guys, are doing is they're buying it first, then encouraging everybody else to buy it till the price goes up. Then they sell it first. Then they tell everyone else to sell it, and those that are laid out just get smashed on the crash. And you know, it's not nice. It's always the same. You know, it's just the truth, isn't it? The last people in get hurt the most, and the last people in are always mum and dad investors. Professional investors don't get caught on this sort of stuff, and you know, so you know, it's a real pity to see it going on, and I'm pleased you're declaring, mate, that is a good thing. If you guys want to join Sukri for the 6th of March for a day, for, you know, we used to call it intro crypto, now we call it how to set up a wallet and have other people fill it for free, doing airdrops basically. Join us, make sure you register. We will close that link off reasonably quickly. We'll be having a chat with James tomorrow about numbers we're prepared to put in there. There's always a few that don't turn up, so we can go over the 100, but we can't go, you know, we can't go 1,000 over the 100 or anything like that. Okay, mate, thank you very much for your stay. Thanks for joining us today. Busy as always. We will have a chat in about half an hour.
Yeah. Sure.
Cheers, mate. Rightio, let's talk to Ainslie and, geez, Sukri, young in that photo, buddy.
Long time ago.
couple of weeks. Don't tell me that crypto does that to you, mate. Rightio, Ainslie, how are you doing?
Hi, not too bad. How are you?
I am good, thanks. What's happening in the world of gold and oil?
Hasn't it been fun? Fun week. I'm actually going to start with oil because I can't actually handle gold at the moment. It had a pullback. It was in line with everything else that was happening. We had the Aussie dollar hit 80 cents during the week, and it didn't like being up there for too long, did it?
No, a lot of it around numbers have moved, but again, some interesting fundamentals behind some of that stuff.
Yeah. So looking at oil, I'm just looking at it daily, but if you move here, you can see that we topped out at around that 60. It almost peaked up to that. Hang on, let me pull crosshairs because my eyes are just shocking. We came up almost to the 63.70 mark. And I think we were looking a couple of weeks ago at a really good level that was, it's not going to do it for me. Hang on, it didn't like it up there, and it's had a good pullback, and that's even in line with everything else that was happening across the market and the strengthening of the US dollar index, but also there was still that little sneak in of and it keeps coming up about, and we talked about this last week about the Saudis trying to increase their quota and saying that, you know, what's happening in the US, it is trying to help compensate with everything coming back online and the COVID rollout. Look, I think that played a really, really minor part in what was happening, but it's still being talked about. The interesting thing that came out in some of the reports on Friday night was the banks are now talking about oil going to $100, and I just looked at that and just went, So yes, it is a strong seasonal trend. We saw nothing really happen from June to the 2nd of November, and then we had liftoff on the 2nd of November. And it's really taken, you know, it's had a couple of pullbacks, and it's to be expected every time. Hitting levels, it likes levels. We know oil likes levels, a bit like gold. It goes, breaks the level, comes back, retests, hangs around there for a while, and then takes back off again. We've come back down to this level here and hugging the 50 EMA on the 4-hourly chart. And let's just see what happens there. I think we need a couple of days. It was the last trading day of the month, obviously, on Friday. And, you know, personally, I was quite glad to see February just disappeared by the end of tonight. And trading-wise, just let's let it go because we've been all over the place. Where that's going to go to next week, I would want a couple of days to see whether it comes down and looks again down at this level. If it stays there, that is a buy for me, because I just think it's going to go, it's still going, it's still strong. The COVID rollout has been really, really positive with a lot of manufacturing and countries coming back online and saying, and it is about perception, by the way. It mightn't necessarily be happening with the nuts and bolts, but perception is a really important thing in market bias. So, yeah, let's see if we've got a set up on oil. Gold, Holy smokes. Hey, look, apart from the fact that, and if you just follow my crosshairs here, when my ADX, my DI, directional indicator, and move above the 25 level on my chart and corresponding with the MACD, that's a really loud setup for me. That's strength of trend, that's direction of trend, and that is the MACD. As you can see, it can show you the cycles, it can show you cyclicity. So if you learn to read how that goes, the cyclicity with the trend strength and the trend direction, it's actually a powerful combination to see that, especially with price action well below a 20, below a 50, below a 200 moving average. Not a bad tip, and if you're looking for something very basic and graphic and visual for you for a setup, that one works. But look at how the ADX took over. It just said, thanks very much, we're going short, and hasn't looked back. It had a bit of a pullback right at the end of trade on Saturday. That's Saturday morning for me, early. But where that goes to, I need to see a bit more of a shakeout. And Paul referred to it in his setup and saying if we've got a lovely break below 1764, we're going down short. We're probably going down to this level down here, which is our last level of respectability, if you like to call it that. Interestingly enough, we'll just have to see what happens, because that to me is a really strong short setup. So that's where I'm at. I'm waiting to see whether we're going to have a fall off the branch with gold. I'm thinking we're still going to have a bit more of maybe a pullback, maybe Monday, Tuesday with oil, and then we'll see. I'm expecting oil to turn around and continue long, but gold, yeah, it's taken a clobbering. We'll see what happens there. That's all I can do. Thanks, Paul.
Cheers, Ainslie. Sorry for the delay coming back to you. Thank you very much for that. We will watch with some interest. I think gold and oil are probably two of the most interesting markets to keep an eye on right now. You know,
Huge.
Yeah, bit of US dollar discorrelation too. So there's more at play there, and we'll watch that play out over the next few weeks. And as the seasonal for gold starts to unwind and the seasonal for oil starts to really take off, it'll be interesting to see how they do continue to perform.
Just looking for levels. Sorry, Paul, I was just saying, just be mindful of the levels, but look for a level that's really strong, and price point will give you the entry point.
Like that, always a big play, particularly on gold. Rightio, talking about comparison between currencies, let's have Lloyd come in and talk relative currency strength. Lloyd, how are you doing?
Hi, Paul. I'm doing great. Thank you. Sorry?
Welcome back. We missed you last week.
Yeah, sorry. Last week was over at my grandmother's place. So let me grab the screens. All right. I think we had oh my God. I think I'm going to have a rather interesting week ahead, because when I look at the currency analysis, is that it seems that the only pair that's going to be possibly strong for me, at least from the looks of it, is actually going to be USD. Yeah. So if you look weekly chart. So if you have a look at the dollar index on the weekly chart, price just refuses to break below 90. Yeah, so at this point, I don't have a look. I don't know about the option side, but it seems that the bull has taken over control, given that we have a rather bullish weekly bar. Yeah, so wherever I see this, and essentially I already have a higher low, it makes me quite reluctant to be on the shorting of US dollars. Yeah, so I will probably be going to long US dollars all the way up to 92. Yeah, so we've got a fair bit of space to go before I reevaluate my positions. Yeah, so keep a lookout for rising dollar strength. Now, on the Swiss side, I'm just going to speculate, this is just a guess, that since price is up to 110, and you can see that previously this is where price actually consolidated by massive price actions, we might have a what you call a retracement going on for the coming week ahead before price goes down further. Yeah, so that means there might be a opportunity on the 4-hour and 1-hour time frame to play the retracement leg before it resumes its dominant downtrend. Yeah, we can see really bearish bar coming to play. Now, other than dollar and Swiss, all the others are pretty bearish throughout. Yeah, so I haven't actually revised my levels since January. Yeah, but surprisingly, or not that surprisingly, all the levels held up quite pretty well. You can see that 80 price goes up, have a brief touch, and then we have a big fat bearish bar on the weekly chart really. So Aussie, I'm going to be bearish about it. Yen, you can see that price is actually just push up. January, it had a peak, and then it just continues falling. Yeah, so I have no reason to suspect otherwise. So I'm still going to think that yen is going to fall, continue falling, probably all the way down to 90. CAD, again, really similar levels compared to Aussie. You can see that price has a brief touch, split with 80, and then we have a very, very bearish bar coming in. Yeah, so CAD ahead, for coming rate ahead, probably 2 weeks ahead. I still think that according to the weekly chart, price will just keep on falling. Kiwi price didn't actually touch 75, but then as per previous levels, you can see that whenever price have a brief touch, and then it will fall. Yeah, so since it's only about what 40 cents away, and then we have a big bearish bar ahead coming off already. So I would think that Kiwi is gonna have some bearish momentum henceforth. Euro, pretty much the same story. Now price didn't go to 125. You can see that previously this is where it touched, but instead we had a lower high already. Yeah, so this is a rather bearish bar that coming out. Now I'll avoid trading euro in the coming week ahead because it's too near to 120. Yeah, I don't want to be trading into anything that's a strong horizontal level. So probably Aussie, yen, CAD, Kiwi will be a good pairs to short. I'll leave euro off the list. Simply it's just too near a horizontal level. Now pound is an interesting one. As per the previous one, you can see that it's being rejected by 140, which is according to the previous horizontal level, it actually held. This level is actually pretty strong. Yeah, nice rejection, nice support. So in lieu of that, I think we might have continued bearish momentum down all the way to 133, 134 thereabouts. Yeah. So across the board, all other than dollar and Swiss, most of them are actually looking pretty bearish to me. So a bit of bonus for this week is that I'm actually, for the stock stacks, I'm actually keeping a close lookout on ARKK, which is the ARK ETF Innovations. Yeah, I'm hoping for price. I'm actually in this ETF already, so I'm hoping for price to actually drop further down to 120 on the weekly chart. So you can see that previously on the daily chart, price did bounce off this 120 level. Yeah. So if I have any bullish price action, I'll probably be scaling in for this particular ETF. Yeah. So this is a bit of bonus for this week. So that's all for me, Paul.
Cheers, Lloyd. Thank you very much for that. Great to have you back as always. Rightio, let's go to the granddad of the team, Jeffrey. How's Tasmania?
G'day, mate. Beautiful one day, perfect the next.
Mate, I've been in Australia, so I don't believe you for a second.
Well, it suits me. I'll put it that way. And we haven't got any COVID. That's probably the best news.
Well, that's certainly better than New Zealand at the moment, mate. We're having a little week to just get it back under control, to get our stuff back together. We've been a little naughty around the COVID, so we're paying the price. And
yeah,
I'm a little bit together and sort it out.
I'm sure you are, but I'm a little bit pissed with that because the 28th of next month is definitely off the cards now.
28th of next month. 28th of
March. We were able to fly direct to you guys.
Oh, mate, our Prime Minister got a bit pissy with your Prime Minister a few weeks ago and canned that completely.
Didn't she? I know. Now it's coming back at you.
I mean, we've never even opened the borders to you guys, but last time we had COVID here, you guys closed the borders to us and we got grumpy with you. I don't get it. I mean, Australia, there's so much we can get grumpy with you guys about that. It's hardly one of them. Mate, I was in the class with Shukri yesterday. He said that if he keeps going the way he's going to have several million US dollars. He's going to retire to Tasmania and become your neighbour. And I told him that I didn't think he would survive that.
Oh, look, I'm sure we'd have a fine old time. But I would have to buy some earmuffs, I think. I just need to buy some earmuffs.
Yeah, Geoff, get the cover ready. I don't know what it is. Yeah,
all right,
mate. Look, that's not so much Tasmania. You got the wrong island. Similar size, but the wrong island really for the carver. But there'll be a box or two of wine.
I've got an import license, though. I've got an import license. Good.
There you go, matey. What are you looking at this week? What's moving? What are we having looking at this week?
Well, I got a bit of a shock. I was nowhere near charts on Friday, and I got a bit of a shock when I woke up on Saturday morning and had a look at the charts, and thought, OMG, rather than WTF. I was very, very cautious, putting big words into it, but something happened. I've got no idea what it is yet, but there seems to have been a bit of correction across the board, and that sadly, in many ways, for me, because I had my targets a little bit wider than what actually occurred. But anyway, we'll get on with the job. As a result of that, I've sacked the dollar again. I'm not going to trade against the dollar this week until I see exactly what happens there. So I've just, as always, picked out a few things that suit my eye, and my eye is drawn towards this one, Swiss yen, to start with. I think I've been talking about this for quite some time, where we just cannot get back through that one. It's actually about 119, very, very close to 119, that level. But I don't even have to put a line on my chart for you to see. That's price action that you can see there. And it's pretty clear to me that this level is still holding. Interesting bar that we put in last month, which of course will be this month still until tomorrow, dead set doji bar. I see not that as crucial, but what I do see as crucial is the fact that we've come back below this, or these highs, in my opinion anyway. And we're now looking, or I'm now looking, and you can see exactly what happened on Friday. We came back into the range, went down to the bottom of the range. The range is about there, right? And then shot back straight up to the top. So again, the WTF moment for me. Why? No idea. I guess there was something going on Friday that I didn't know about yet. And I guess you guys have already spoken about that. But I see this as an opportunity. And if I look at this very, very close, well, I don't even have to look at it very, very closely. It's a clear rectangle in here for me, and that kind of gets me going. And when I see that happen, I also see a couple of other things. That level there is pretty clear, and we've come below that, and we've retested that, and we've rejected that already. The hard part for me this week's going to be the pivots, because the weekly pivot's going to come down substantially. We're up there, yeah, probably down to here somewhere, pretty much where price is. I know I could have done that with the market scanner, but it's likely to be pretty much where price is. So that's going to be a little bit tricky to get into this, and I certainly don't want to trade that bar because it's not my bar to trade. But I would like to see one of two things happen. I'd like to see price get below the weekly pivot, wherever that may be, and then come back and retest that level. I don't think the monthly level is going to move too far. We've been up, down, all around it. So I don't think that's going to move too far. It'd probably be very, very close to the weekly pivot. So tomorrow morning, if I have a look, I won't be trading this tomorrow morning, but I'll be looking for price to get below that level, wherever that may be, and then come back and retest it. And I think that would be my signal to go short. Will it reverse? Got no idea, but I'll be trading it down to that level for sure if I get the opportunity, as long as I don't get a bar, something like that. But big reversal potential here. Already got a lower high, already got a lower low. So I think this is a downward trend for the week, and I'll be happy to pick that up, trade it to there. Now, if it does reverse, of course, there is a bit of a bigger picture in play here. If we get below that level, then you can probably think that this level here, around about the 114 mark, maybe a bit higher, should be in play. So that's why I think this is worth having a good look at. If we can get in here and survive this sort of price action, then there's a pretty decent reward available if we can get it right. So say we got in here somewhere, and our risk was maybe 50, 60 pips. We pick that up, getting to the first level, and then we'll get about, I don't know, maybe even 4 or 5 to 1 if we're fortunate enough to get into that and stick on Swiss yen. That'll be my first one for the week. Second one, as I said, I'm steering well clear of US dollar, but I'm back on an old chestnut here. And pound Kiwi, we've been watching this for months and months and months, and looking for this to come back, bounce off the bottom of that ascending channel, and go back towards the top. We saw a beautiful tweezer bottom sitting here, and we suggested last week that that may well be the precursor to what's to come. And sure enough, we haven't gone too far, but sure enough, we are on an upward trajectory with that. Interesting, and I guess you guys have spoken about, and we just hinted at it, and I don't think you have a big issue with it, Paul, from a market's point of view. The COVID outbreak in Auckland, if that were to get a little bit more serious, I suppose something is biased against the Kiwi there. But I see this as a potential long. We've got a nice double bottom here on the weekly chart. We've got a nice higher low here on the weekly chart. What I don't see yet is an opportunity to actually trade it. Maybe that bar there, you know, if you're interested in trading bull bars long, and I know a lot of people are, and why not? For me, that's just not going to happen. The interesting part here, I believe, is that we've come back above this level, which is a pretty strong support and resistance area, as you can see. Big double bottom sitting here, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. This to me is potential for goodness knows, well, as I said before, top of this range. There's a few thousand, well, 2.5, 3,000 pips nearly available there if we can get this right. And it does go, of course. How do we get in? Well, that's the monthly chart, and I'd be willing to wait another month for it to pull back and retest that level. But probably this won't be realistic. I think this will move well before then. There's nothing there for me on the weekly chart. I can't trade that bar. It's something that I don't trade. On the daily chart, big engulfing bar. As we all know, Friday was a bit of a change day. I'd be looking for a pullback here. So if we can get another higher low, I think that would be the place that I'd want to go on pound Kiwi. But you know, as I said, we've been waiting for this for months, and we haven't really had a good sight at it. This may well be it, and I'm keen. I like this double bottom, higher high, higher low, higher high, low. Broke that level. We've come back and retested it and rejected it. You can call that a neckline if you want. So it's a neckline break and retest, and I'm good to go here for pound Kiwi. I certainly won't be trading that bar, as I said, but any pullback here does get me interested. That'll be a sharp focus for the week. Now, Aussie Kiwi, we had a couple of trades on this last. In fact, we've been trading the heck out of this recently. And we did pick up a little bit on the long, but we also got we got a small target on one position, and then we got taken out on the very next position. So small loser there last week. What I now see is not something that I really like, and I'll explain that on the monthly chart. So the bigger picture is telling me that we're going towards the top of this rectangle. And we do have a higher low. We've got a higher high as well. But inside of there, we've also got that rectangle. And that rectangle is the confusing bit. So on this chart, I'd be looking to trade this towards the top right. So I'd be a bull looking to enter probably around the bottom of that. Well, certainly at that higher low. I think probably around there somewhere. No opportunity to do that right now. But you can see what the week held for Aussie Kiwi last week. And well, driven by Friday basically, and we've come back off the top of this range, this inner range as I call it. So I really can't trade this long right now until we get down to here, and that's my quandary. I want to go long, but I've now got to be patient and see what happens next. I think, you know, tomorrow may even not tell us the story. What happened on Friday was substantial, and we need to either I think confirm that, or B, reject it or reverse it. So very, very tough, I think, for me to get into the market tomorrow. But if I see a lower high based on this candle, then I would have to seriously think about trading the short on the shorter time frames, but only to the bottom of that range. If it goes there straight away, I'd be probably happier if it went there straight away, because I don't want to trade against my bias. But as I say, if we do come back here, give us a lower high, then I'd probably be looking to trade this to the bottom of the range around about the 105.50 mark, and then be looking to pick up the long. That's Aussie Kiwi. Now, it looks like we've got a set against the Kiwi, doesn't it? Aussie Kiwi, I'm looking to get long, but only after the right price. Pound Kiwi, I'm looking to get long. Kiwi CAD, I'm looking to get short. And the reason I'm looking to get short Kiwi CAD is, well, it's pretty clear to me that we're at a very, very strong level. Both support and resistance have rejected this level around about the 92, a little bit higher than that maybe mark. And we're struggling. I think the Japanese would call this rising in agony. And I'm looking for this to turn around, frankly. Can I see that on the monthly chart? Well, you know, if that was, I love that candle. That's the kind of candle that I do like to trade short, but I don't really have a confluence of any kind. It's just telling me it's rejected that level again. So I really can't trade that at the moment. I've got to wait for something a little better. That candle also is very enticing to me, as it has come off the top of that ascending channel that we've got, also settled underneath that 92-ish mark. So yeah, I like it, but it's out of context for me. This is really trying to pick the top, and that's not a game I like to play. So I'd really like to see maybe a lower high again based on this, but that's going to be a bit awkward on the weekly chart as well. The daily, I think, is a lot easier because we have had that big turnaround. I don't know, that's a candle pattern that some of you guys call something. I don't know what you call it, but maybe an evening star or something. I don't know. I won't go there, but it's something that's hinting at me that this is about to go back to the bottom here. So a lower high here does get me interested. That level there in particular would be good. So if we come back to here, put in that lower high, I think I'd be definitely willing to trade that to the bottom of the range. That'll be the daily chart, and it's probably where I want to be because it's the most obvious to me that if we do get that retest of, let's call it 92.50 or 0.9250, then I'd be looking to trade that short. If we get a confluence, obviously, with some trend lines or some trade lines. Probably won't be tomorrow, but if we do get that pullback here, I'll probably be looking for maybe a false break of resistance, maybe up here somewhere. If that were to happen, then I'd be pretty happy chappy. So they're really the structures that I see this week, mates. As I said, I'm steering well clear of the US dollar till I see that settle down or take off again, whatever it's going to do. I think it's a little bit too early for me to be saying it's going long because I'm a massive bear, as you know. But I'll just keep the powder dry on that until I see something that suits me. Not there yet.
Cheers, man. It does look like a week we're going to need to see this Friday move, what follows it up. And really, it was a bit of a Thursday, Friday move. Most of these bars have a high test bar on Thursday where, they started to sell off, and Friday they continue to sell off. And we'll need to see Monday morning where they go. And I would imagine, by within, around the start of your show on Monday with that UK Open, we will have a fairly good idea, within the first hour of that UK Open of what the market momentum really is, whether it's looking to bounce back to the build or whether it's going to continue to roll down or whether it's just going to consolidate for a little while. So start to become a fair bit clearer. Guys,
a bit of guesswork at the moment, isn't it?
Yes, mate, it really is. We'll be back next week. Don't forget, we've got a few things coming up for you guys. A special guest for Gordon Scott CMT on his show, Charts and Chats with Gordon, tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Singapore. Must see if you're into stocks and just general. Some of the technical stuff he talks about in his show, I think, is world class. And look, you guys, if you've been in anything we've done recently, Simon talked about Trading Buddies. Shukri talks about Trading Buddies. All of the guys who are making money watch that show, and that's about it.
Isn't that nice?
There's about 15, 17 people watch that show every week, and it is always the guys who are doing well that are there. It's a must-watch show, 3:30 Monday to Thursday, 3:50 Monday to Thursday for those guys. We will see you back, and obviously we have Shukri on the 6th of March for one more go at that. So another
guys, the most important thing I learned there is Geoff. What does Geoff say? I have a religion. Don't force me to change it. Stick to your rules no matter what.
Yeah, look, you know, it's one of those things that I think, apart from anything else, it just makes trading simpler. If you just do the same thing over and over again, you're going to get better and better at it. And Geoff, the stuff you do right, the first time you look at it, I remember learning it with you, and it took a while to get it, and then you get it and you just get better and better and better at it the more you do it, right?
Yeah, and you're able to develop that to your own taste and time frames as well. Look, I don't know how many times somebody has actually said this over the years to me, and I've heard it said, you know, by many good traders over the years. Simple but not easy.
Yeah.
And that's the truth of my strategy or the way that I trade these days. It was, as you say, very interesting to pick it up, but it's even more interesting to develop it, I think. And you know, we've got to move with what the market's doing, and the market's doing incredibly different things than it was when you and I first were sitting in that room. Completely different, and you've just got to move with it.
Yeah, mate, I think breakout behavior in particular, that first TP1 on the slingshot's very different, but so some of the targets. The TP1 isn't aggressive, but some of the targets are a bit, you can get some bigger targets than you could back in those days. So you don't get the same boom through the TP1 in safety. You can get your distance, make a bit more out of it, right? Yep.
We've developed that to that effect, and little bugger on Thursday and Friday missed TP or missed target on the Aussie by just a fraction. We got some good money out of it, but gee whiz, would have been nicer if it'd gone another 50 pips.
Mate, isn't that just trading?
That's just trading. It's simple as that.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much for those who've joined us today. Thank you very much. I know it's been a big weekend. A lot of you have been in Thursday night for my show. All day Saturday with Shukri, and again today with Julian before this, again with this. I do hope you guys are continuing to learn and get better. That is the key. That is the secret. Every month be a little bit better than the previous month. And if you become a little more knowledgeable, a little bit better, your results will follow. Cheers, guys. Thanks for joining us. Take care of yourself. And remember, guys, just stay calm and make good decisions. We're going to see some volatility Monday morning. Stay calm, make good decisions. Those that do that will bank a bit of money. Cheers, guys. See you later.
Ciao.